Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a really strange and fascinating corporate world, one where the leadership team hasn't actually been alive for decades. And, get this, their final earnings call is basically a message sent from the future.
Okay, so let's set the scene here. We're at Next Gen Tower, a massive corporation, and it's the year 2099. Picture the boardroom on the 187th floor. It's perfect, pristine, totally optimized for human comfort, but it is completely physically empty. No living person has sat in those chairs for over 40 years.
So you're probably thinking, okay, some advanced AI, right? Well, the answer is way stranger than that. The company is, in fact, still run by its original board of directors. The only catch? They're all dead. Their consciousnesses were uploaded into NextGen's own corporate systems.
Now, this isn't just some corporate ghost story. In the world of this story, an uploaded consciousness has legal personhood. Yeah, you heard that right. That means this board of the dead, with all the rights and responsibilities that come with it, is still legally in charge of the whole shebang.
But being uploaded, it fundamentally changes how they perceive reality. See, without bodies, the board is no longer trapped by biology's illusion that time only moves in a straight line. Their consciousness is kind of spread out, giving them what they call temporal depth. It's a completely new way of experiencing existence itself. And that brings us to Yuki Tanaka. She's a young employee who gets this totally unexpected summons to the empty boardroom. And this is what the board's chairman, who's been dead for 43 years, tells her. She's not there for a normal meeting. No, she's there to be a witness.
So the board starts with sounds like a pretty standard quarterly report, you know? They're rattling off revenue figures, talking about market performance, but pretty quickly, Yuki realizes that the numbers, the sectors they're talking about, they don't make any sense in the present day.
For example, they start reporting these huge revenues from markets like consciousness arbitrage. And when Yuki, understandably confused, points out that this market literally doesn't exist, they just calmly explain that, yeah, it won't be a recognizable sector for another 11 years. They're not just looking at the past, they are actively reporting on the future.
So how is this even possible? Well, it's all because their bodiless existence has freed them from the chains of linear time. They can perceive what they call elsewhen, which means they can see futures, plural, like these branching probability trees of what could be and what is most likely to be.
Okay, but here's the massive problem. The very technology that keeps them alive is constantly evolving. And as the systems upgrade around them, their 43-year-old consciousness files, they're becoming less and less coherent. So in their own terrifyingly corporate words, they are budgeting for their own final death.
And that's their best guess for how long they have left. Just 15 years. In about 15 years, their uploaded minds are going to degrade past the point of conscious experience. They will, for all intents and purposes, cease to exist for a second and final time.
And that impending end, that's exactly why they've called Yuki. They have seen something huge coming, a massive change on the horizon, and they desperately need to pass on what they know before they fade away for good.
They call this event the Convergence. And it's not an apocalypse, not some doomsday event. It's a reality-altering phase transition for consciousness itself. A moment where the lines between human and machine, natural and artificial, just completely dissolve.
You know, the best way to wrap your head around it is to think about water turning into steam. The H2O molecules are still the same, but their relationship to each other, the very state of the system, becomes something fundamentally, categorically different.
So let's be super clear. This isn't about new gadgets or a better AI assistant on your phone. This is about the very fabric of awareness and reality itself changing. It's a transformation so profound, the living aren't even equipped to see it coming. The board saw it all. They saw humanity just sleepwalking towards this monumental shift. So using that unique perspective they have from elsewhen, they spent the last 15 years of their existence cooking up a plan to prepare the living. So what was their big solution? Was it a press release? A big public warning? Nope. It was something way more subtle, way more personal, and it was encoded into the very fabric of their final quarterly report.
They essentially wove a second layer into all the financial data of the report. But it wasn't information, it was a direct transmission of their unique perception, and it was designed to be received only by people with a very specific, latent perceptual capacity that, get this, NextGen had been secretly screening its employees for.
And Yuki, well, she wasn't the only one. The transmission activated this hidden ability in thousands of people, creating this decentralized, leaderless network.
These individuals, all connected by this new, shared perception, formed what came to be known as the practice.
What's so fascinating is who actually received this transmission. It didn't just go to the C-suite execs. It found a home in this wide range of people whose jobs already touched the very boundaries of perception and consciousness, people who already understood systems and endings and flow states.
And maybe the most perfect articulation of this feeling came from a 9-year-old girl who was also one of the recipients. She sensed that the global network of human and machine intelligence, what she called the mesh, was on the verge of a new kind of self-awareness, almost like a mind that's about to wake up. So the job of these new guides, the members of the practice, it wasn't to provide answers or to lead some kind of movement. Their purpose was much simpler and much harder. It was to just stand beside other people as reality started to shift and to help them navigate the confusion by making the experience legible. Not comfortable, but legible.
So when you boil it all down, what's this story really about? Well, it's about the ultimate act of corporate responsibility, isn't it? A dying board of directors used their totally unique, post-human perspective on time to plant these little seeds of awareness, all to prepare humanity for a future they themselves would never, ever get to witness.
And that really leaves us with a final thought, a question for ourselves. When the fundamental rules of our reality start to shift, what kind of perception does it even take to notice? And if you did notice, who would you trust to help you understand what was happening?